Digital payment companies have revolutionized how Indians transact online. To deliberate on the challenges and opportunities of this evolving ecosystem, the Digital India Summit played host to 4 key industry leaders. Director of PayPal India, Nad Parmeshwaran. Joint Managing Director of Oxigen Services India, Sunil Kulkarni. Associate Director India, PCI Security Standard Council, Nitin Bhatnagar. And Head of Finance and Strategic Partnerships at MobiKwik, Preeti Pandey.
PayPal has now been in India for almost 10 years, a formidable force when it comes to B2C, B2B. It's been a good ride. How important is the Indian market?
Nayantara, the facts speak for itself. Okay, we don't see India just as a market. Okay, this is the center of operations for our strategic success. So, what we have here is the largest workforce outside of the US from an engineering perspective. In the B2C space, when you talk about small SMEs wanting to export made in India goods and services, we play a very big role in helping them sell and export India stuff abroad and receive payments through that. Okay, that's a huge focus, aligns very well with what the Make in India and Digital India stories. And as a part of our commitment to the India market, we set up a full-fledged subsidiary a year back. We also launched our domestic operations.
Preeti, if I could come to you now. This is of course very important, and it became even more important after demonetization, after 8th of November 2016. But cash is back. The RBI data also shows that cash is back. But having said that, digital transactions are still rising. Maybe the pace of growth has come down. Simultaneously, while during demonetization, we heard about, one of your competitors, Paytm, a lot and has become very formidable. Is this also becoming a market, a space which is crowded by too many?
I don't think so. I think having a fair bit of competition is any day required for development in any ecosystem. I think it does more good than bad, and that's the stage where we are at right now, wherein whoever is existing in the payment ecosystem is actually bringing something good to the ecosystem. And together we are developing the payment ecosystem.
Nitin Bhatnagar, let me come to you. How is it exactly done when you talk about standards in payment? Is there one standard? Are there 5 standards? Are there 20 standards? How does it work?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting question that you have asked. I think the PCI standards body, which is the Payment Card Industry Security Standard Council, is the only standards body which works globally to protect the payment data, right? And today, as we talk, we are looking at 14 standards today to protect the payment data that we have today, and it covers from the wide range of securing the payment applications, securing your infrastructure where you are actually storing, processing, and or transmitting cardholder data. Trust in the payments is very, very important, first thing. And in order to gain that trust, you need to create education and awareness for the consumers. And that's the key element that everyone, when we are going to collaborate and work together, we need to focus on that. That should be the first and foremost element that we should be focusing in order to get and build that trust in the payments, in the digital payments.
Do you have a favorite standard at Oxigen?
I think while PCI is a standard for cards, there are now multiple standards like UPI, Aadhaar. They are not part of PCI standards. So I think India is a very unique place where you have at one merchant location multiple form factors. I mean, if you look at total number of credit cards and debit cards in the country, you have about 35 to 40 million credit cards and 900 million debit cards. But what you have is 1.2 billion Aadhaar registrations. And therefore, you need a payment system which can encompass not only cards, but also cardless payments, which in PCI is contactless, as well as QR code. And in other than PCI, it is UPI and Aadhaar Pay.
Preeti, what did you think when the eKYC norms came, and more importantly, when it's been extended for 6 months, you all now have another 6 months. What was your reaction when it came out? Was it too knee-jerk, and is 6 months enough time now for you, or do you need more?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it was knee-jerk. I mean, for last few quarters, we have been setting up our businesses and processes in line with regulatory compliance of doing KYC the way RBI wanted us to do. right? So when it came that you cannot now use KYC, Aadhaar for e-KYC, it was a knee-jerk reaction to us, right? I mean, I'll agree to that. And last few quarters, we've also been sort of not getting the clarity on what's going to be the way forward for using Aadhaar for doing KYC for mobile wallets, right? See, mobile wallets have been the entry point into digital payment segment, right? These are small value transactions. People take money from their bank accounts and keep it in mobile wallet because, of course, it's easy to be onboarded on a mobile wallet ecosystem. It's convenient to use. And there is a reason for you to be sticking around because of the incentive structure and that mobile wallets offer, right? Now, with regulators' requirement of complying to regulations which are similar or exactly same as that of banks, I think it's something that needs to be really discussed and thought about.
See, currently if you see, bulk of the payments are happening digital to digital. It's not digitization. You take a credit card and load a wallet. You take a debit card and transfer to a bank account and 700 to 700 rupees cashbacks and all that. It's all digital to digital. That's not digitization. What today, she talked about the cash is back. 2.5 lakh crore is withdrawn from bank on ATM every month prior to digitization, prior to demon. Today it is 2.7 lakh crore. So total cash in retail payments is $1.3 trillion or 10 lakh crore. Less than 10% is actually digital. So we are talking about over 9 lakh crore payment happening through cash. Why? Because we don't have cash to digital conversion. Now cash to digital conversion is a dirty business in terms of putting your hands dirty. Easy to transfer money from a debit card to a wallet or a credit card to a wallet or a debit card to a bank account or a credit card to a bank account, but from cash to digital is where the bulk of the 3 million POS currently are not growing beyond 3 million POS. The country needs today between 15 to 20 million POS terminals where cash to digital can happen.
Mr. Parameshwaran, you have a clear differentiator at PayPal, which is that you want to also target MSMEs and SMEs, get them on your channel, and also help them export. Is that the biggest differentiator for PayPal today?
Nandara, I would say, there are two stakeholders that we keep at the center. One is the consumer, okay, and other
Supposed
is
to
the
be king.
and the second is the SME or the MSME as we call them in India. So one solution to help the SME sell locally and internationally and receive payments. From a consumer side, our focus is very clear. Remove friction from the payment experience, okay, back it up with safety. What is happening in India, if you would agree with me, is a large number of users come into the system, okay, for a few bad experiences that they have, okay, or if there is no enough incentive for them to stick to the network, they would prefer to go back to cash. How do you make them stay? It is only when you have security and when you give him confidence that if things go wrong, there is somebody who can, have your back. So that would be our clear focus in terms of safety and security for the users, as well as, help the MSME grow their business.
The other thing which we need to, I would like to talk about is the future. We all know what has happened in the last couple of years. We've all been here. Most of us have downloaded our first app to do all of this in the last 4 to 5 years, etc. Having said that, there are other big giants who want to enter this space. For example, look at WhatsApp payment. How long can the government stop it and say that no, jab tak you don't do this and you don't listen to me, only so much arm twisting can happen, and after maybe election it could become a reality, right? What is that going to mean for Oxigen and MobiKwik? You have other, global giants who want to come in. Right now, maybe data localization, the norms on that is also stopping them. How are you bracing up for that?
Talking about the players that are coming here or intend to come here in India, yes, they have their incentives to be here in the market because it's a huge market, right? I mean, that's where it all starts. What's the size of the market? And it's huge. And nobody cannot be present in India in digital payment, right? So that's going to continue, I guess. Where we are seeing as an opportunity is, of course, there's never been a month wherein we have not seen a growth in our digital payment business, right? So every month we do see growth.
We've run out of time. I know it was very interesting. I'd like to thank all my panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.